let me just.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're dark.
they turned the lights off in here.
That's what
So
happens when you live on a train, Jim.
I know. I'll go to this one. A little brighter.
So
Um, they
would that work out?
It would, but you couldn't you couldn't have a sleeper cab. You know, like those things are expensive just to have the bed and everything like that. But if you just want to, like the chairs, they recline. There's like a power outlet so you can charge your devices. It has like a leg support, not just something you put your legs on, but it has like a thing that supports the back of your calves and your legs. So it's the chairs are wide. They're like first class chairs in a plane. I don't know why I'm looking at the chair when I could be looking at you. I'm just looking at the chair, no one's in it. Fucking idiot.
So you like the looks of the chair better than me? I get it. No, that's
Don't
cool.
don't take
Um,
offense. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Come on. I'm just looking. I'm
no,
not
no.
touching.
I'm just stating the facts, Jim.
And I see where
Just
this is
stating the
going.
fucking fact. You
Oh
know,
man. You know, I just
that's I don't I don't care. You you don't you don't like me? You like you like your fucking chairs? Fucking go be with your fucking chair. I don't care.
I'm not touching it. I'm just looking. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, just look at.
There's people
Yeah,
around. Keep it down a little bit.
heard that
Jeez, you're
before.
worse than Selena.
Yeah, okay.
So so last
So
so last night
that's what it's gonna be.
I go to the Hard Rock because I needed
Yeah.
a hoodie or something, and I could have bought like a cheap. Actually, no, I went to go buy a cheap like souvenir hoodie that said New Orleans, and they wanted $65. And I'm like, and it was like a place that sold three t-shirts for 10, so these weren't like great hoodies. And so like, well, I'm going to
Yeah.
Hard Rock, and this was $55, and I'm like, oh, Hard Rock for $55, not bad. But before I got in, it was 10:40 or 10:45. They close at 11. And so I went to go in. The guy goes,
Mm.
we're closed. You know, real D bag guy, security guy. I said, I just want to go into merchandise. He
Does
goes,
D stand for Dick?
douchebag.
Douchebag. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dick bag, whatever.
Dude.
So I said, hey, I just want to go into the merchant, get some merchandise. And there's people in merchandise. There's people in the restaurant. They actually are still fucking open. They're open till 11.
Mm.
I can go in and eat if I want to. I'm not going to because I never do that a half hour before close anywhere. But I
Yeah.
could. And he goes, no, we're closed. And I'm like, okay, first of all, you're a dick. Second of all, you're a dick. And third of all, it's open. And so I just walked right by him and I went in and he looked at me
Good.
like, and so then I just started shopping. I spent $100, you know, and then the manager had to come and approve my veterans discount. And I said, hey, you got a guy out here who's turning away your customers. He goes, well, we actually don't, we're not serving food. I go, I wanted to buy something here. He wasn't going to let me in. Well, I don't have anything to do with that. I go, oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, you do. You're the manager. Like, shut up. Don't tell me you have nothing to do with it. Oh, did you not hire that guy? He just does whatever he wants. He's free for all. He has no employer, no boss. He just goes out and tells
This
people
was
they can't come
after.
in. I'm like, give me a break. I
This was
mean,
after you bought the hoodie.
what's that? No, before.
This was
This is
after you
before.
bought the.
He stopped me from. He was trying to stop me from going in, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going in, you know. But I wasn't like a
No,
dick
I know.
about it. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
before I bought the hoodie,
Yes.
and then
I know, but you're talking to this guy afterwards, right? And you're
the
like,
the
because
manager, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and that's
and
when I was paying
like,
for it, and he's totally blown me off, like it didn't happen, like I'm like, ah, you're stupid. Just go fucking tell him,
I
hey,
mean,
we're
at
open.
that point, if you didn't need the hoodie, you could have said, given him the hood, just handed it to him and said, "Well, fuck you, then. I'm not buying this." But
Yeah, I could have, but then I was like, man, where am I
but
going
you
to get a
needed the
hoodie?
hoodie.
I really did. It
Yeah.
was so. Honestly, I didn't because this train is not nearly as cold as the other one. The other one was so cold. I had no long sleeve shirts. I didn't pack well because I wasn't thinking. I meant to bring a hoodie, and I left it on the coat rack. So then I had to have something. And where was I going with that? Right before that, I can't remember. What did you say right before that? Left.
Toaster.
Needed the oven. Needed the oven. Needed the hoodie.
Yeah, meat in the oven. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I
But it was something
could have handed it to
and
him.
it was so
Yeah.
cold in the other one, and I didn't have, like I said, I had no long sleeves. I had a toque. I brought a toque. I always have a toque with me because my bald head. So I had my toque on, and then a short sleeve with my arms inside. And then I was like, oh, I
Oh,
brought sweatpants. So then I put my sweatpants on my arms, and I was wearing
yeah.
sweatpants. And then the guy beside me thought it was hilarious. Like he and I were talking a bit. He was a bullshitter, but oh well. And
Yeah.
oh, I think I told you about that guy. So anyway, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I was folding up my sweatpants. I go, oh, I better fold up my shirt and put it away. You know, he's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, it's cold in here. He goes, I go, is it always this cold? He goes, it's always this cold. Like you have to have a coat or a blanket. I'm like, that's insane. And they don't have like
Is it?
a temperature set. It's just on or off. So
It's the air conditioning.
yeah, and it is so
Yeah.
cold. And then when they stop the train, it goes off, and then it starts heating up because it's pretty warm, especially in the southern states. And then we had to get off in Atlanta
Yeah.
because apparently it's too hot for the train, and so we took a bus from Atlanta to New Orleans, which was actually faster than taking the train anyway. So that's why I ended up getting a hotel because normally we would have got in there 9, 10 o'clock at night, and the train left at 9 in the morning. So I would have just stayed in the train station. But I was like,
Right.
man, we got here at 5:30. I haven't had a shower since I left. I haven't slept in a bed since I left. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll go get a hotel. Super cheap. Stayed right on the lake there, or whatever it is. They call it river, and it was like $75 at the Hilton. It was a beautiful, like super clean room. I'm sure it would be like that on a weekend. It was a Monday, But I was like, I
Wow.
would, and my limit was $100. Like if I have to spend any more than 100 after taxes and stuff, I'll just stay in the thing. But yeah, it was awesome. And then I woke up early to go catch the train, and then the train was delayed 3 hours. She's like, fuck. It's like, fuck, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
would
that
not
just,
like that.
well, I just walked around downtown a little bit more, so it wasn't horrible. But I wouldn't have woke up early. That's all. But in
Exactly. Exactly.
In Saskatoon, I was catching the train from Saskatoon to Edmonton. It's an 8-hour train ride, and the train was 8 hours late.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane. And I was going to spend the day with my grandmother before I flew back to Arizona, and so we're 8 hours late. So now I only have like 2 or 3 hours before my plane leaves. So I take a cab from the train station to. She was at an old folks home at the time, and that was
Hmm.
$110, like 100 and some dollars for the cab ride. And then I needed to go to the airport, which was actually further, so that it was going to be another 100 and some dollars. And the guy who drove me there, I mean, it's pretty easy fare for him. And I told him what was going on. He goes, "Well, I'll just if you want to visit your grandma, I'll just wait. I won't charge you to wait because it's easy money for him. That's a good fare, right? Two good fares." So I said, "Okay, great." He goes, "That way you don't have to worry about your bag and stuff." So I visited my grandma for like a couple hours, and then he took me to the airport. And yeah, that was a while back. But that was the only other time I think I was on a train, really, other than novelty trains like the Grand Canyon and little shit. But I never been on a. These ones are a little bit nicer than the Via. I think the
Yep.
food car, the dining car is a little nicer. But I don't know about that Rocky Mountain one, the one that goes from Banff to Vancouver, or I guess Edmonton to
I've
Vancouver.
never tried it. Never
You
tried it.
you can go on there like here. You can go on coach because people are like, oh, it's so expensive. But no, you can just go on as a regular passenger. But you don't want to go from Edmonton to Vancouver because that happens at nighttime. You want to go from Vancouver to Jasper because that's when they go to the Rockies during the day. So because it's only goes one way at night and one way during the day. So if you go there at
I've been through there. I've been through there on a freight train. I've seen it.
yeah, yeah, I wish I would have done that when I was a kid. This guy we bought the car from to give to B's daughter. He's from Germany, and he actually built a glass bridge at the Columbia ice fields a few years ago. He works for the company, and all they do is
Oh, you
ski on
told
the.
me. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
pretty good, pretty cool
Yep.
pictures too. I was like, damn. So B is like, how much to cover our pool with a dance floor?
Oh yes.
It's
Yeah.
probably about $100. Rayman
About
pricing.
$100. Yeah. That's they did that. They had that in. That's really quite like modern, futuristic now that I think about it. But they had that in It's a Wonderful Life.
What's
That
that?
movie.
A glass bridge?
Well, it wasn't a glass. It wasn't glass, but they had a dance floor that covered the pool
Oh, okay.
in the high school. Um, yeah, it was
Oh,
like
it
a
must be. It was.
motorized
Yeah, I
dance.
remember. Yeah, it automatic. Yeah. What kind of friggin' school were they going to? Jesus.
I don't know. That was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
that's supposed to be a small town somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, man. I've never seen or heard of anything like that.
No, no.
Uh,
I remember seeing that. It was like, and people fell in, right? And people fall in,
yeah,
or
they fell in. It was
yeah,
opening up into the pool, and it's like,
yeah.
what the fuck kind of futuristic bullshit? This is like the 1940s.
How
Um,
expensive would that have been? To
yeah,
construct. I mean, yeah. Mind you, they made a lot of
yeah,
really cool things back in the day, and they were just bigger companies that said, nope, we're not going to allow that. You know, some really cool inventions.
right.
Even that. Did you see that one where it was like it looked like a Model T with the spare wheel in the back, but then the spare wheel goes down and it rolls, so you can parallel park. So you could just pull in your
Oh
front,
yeah,
yeah, and then it just the back.
yep.
Like, why isn't that around? You know?
That should totally be around. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah, and it's not like if it's not attached to something functioning. So like, let's say it broke down, like now your whole car doesn't work. So there should be a bunch of them out there that maybe that part doesn't work, but it still should be available. I mean, it's such a smart idea. There's so many genius
Yeah,
things. I mean, but they don't make money, you know, like they should.
they don't make money. Yeah, for some reason, and that's always the deciding factor. They always seem to have these like really futuristic, well, but brilliant inventions over the last 100 years that don't really catch on until somebody decides they can make money off of it. I mean, the
Hmm.
electric car, for instance,
Yeah.
that was actually that was the first car ever invented was an electric car, and they decided not to go that way. It's kind of like beta VHS in a lesser degree, but
Yeah, imagine the electric car back then when it had a
pretty
whole
fucked
lot
up.
of range, unless it was, in a sense, like the train where it would be hooked up to the line. That'd be kind of cool if they had like an electric line back then. Like now you wouldn't need because you got batteries, big batteries.
That would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. But no, it was battery powered. I don't know what kind of range they
It's
had. I mean, they
probably
weren't
like
that fast either,
probably like
but still,
6,000
like,
miles. Probably could go around the world twice on one charge. That's what really
yeah,
pissed off the petrol
probably.
companies.
Yeah, they were perfect. It was easy. Yeah, yeah.
Let's take it for a test. We went from California to New York in 2 hours on one charge. It's fast. We can't have that.
Yeah.
Airline companies don't like it. Trade. Nobody likes this
No,
except for the consumer.
no fucking way. Can't make money off that. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
two
Well, they
hours.
did that with a lot of things, and you can what?
I was just like 2 hours. How
Yeah,
fast is
exactly.
this?
Yeah, there's a really good nice. There's a really good documentary about planned obsolescence, about stuff like that, like the light bulb, for instance. They invented that, over 100 years ago, and I think they still have the original light bulb. I don't know, it might be, I'm not Nebraska. I don't know. In a fire hall, the
Hmm.
original one over 100 years.
The light bulb's still working.
They could last as long as they, yeah. And then like, okay, we need to have people, we need them to burn out at a certain time. People have to rebuy them. So they did all kinds of tests. It took them a long time to figure out and decide on a certain number of hours that it would expire.
Hmm.
And they did that. And it's been like that ever since.
It's crazy. Just such a waste.
Yeah.
Like
And they
even like
freely admit
everything.
it too.
They admit it.
What?
Oh no, I
They
just
freely
yeah.
admit it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I got a bad connection here, so it's a little delay. I got one, not even a
Ah,
full bar.
anything I hate, it's a non-full bar.
Foo bar. Yeah,
Foo bar.
so many things that have been controlled by bigger entities. You know, it's not. I love how people will. I don't argue for any particular system because I think the best system is a combination of all systems, where capitalism, socialism, communism, they all have their pros and cons, right? But capitalism, I think, is really one of the worst. And this is it because true capitalism would allow these people to make these products, you know, and let the market decide. But
Yeah.
we have so many corrupt people in this country that the market never gets to decide, you know, and that's not
Right.
capitalism. That's fascism because people don't have a
Right.
choice. They're just think they have a choice, but really, like, even look at the fruits and vegetables that are available compared to what should be available. You know, they make things that are profit driven, right? That are economically easy to make, ship. They're tolerable, and you know all these things. And as opposed to, like, someone showed me this picture of like all these apples back in like the early 1900s that were growing in Washington, and they had this apple, this apple, this apple, this. I mean, just tons of apples. And now it's like basically like a handful of different fucking apples. You know, you can get a specialty apple here and there, but for the most part, all these apples that were available 100 years ago are not available anymore. They're in the seed bin in fucking Norway or whatever. But did you hear a hawk?
Yeah. A hawk?
That would be funny. Every time we say something like maybe nature related, we'll have a hawk. Just oh man, I went outside in nature today.
That's my hawk.
I know I can't do a hawk, but I sure heard one just a second ago. Yeah, we'll have to have little sound bites. I'll throw them in there.
Yes.
I can't even do a fucking
It's a
hawk.
good
What am I?
idea.
I'm not gonna do a. Hey Jim, do your impersonation of a hawk.
That was my hawk.
My Ethan Hawk.
Uh, yeah. That's an hawk.
Okay. So what song did you make? Did you create one for that
All right.
advertising?
What?
This song is called "Why I Didn't Rate It 5 Stars." Why I didn't rate it 5 stars.
No, I didn't do that.
Sure, some people are kind of like, what the hell? They're leaving now. A couple more hours, this place will be
About
mine.
time, for fuck's sakes. Yeah.
Oh,
Fucking looky loos, nosy
bastards.
Parkers.
Yeah, I like this. I like this train. There's a good one. You could, I think you can even catch it in Vancouver. I don't have any of my toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take it Vancouver to San Diego. You might have to transfer in Seattle or something, but Amtrak goes up there and they'll yeah, that's a cool. That's supposed to be the most scenic train in Amtrak. Entire
Goes along the coast, I guess.
for some parts
Does
of
it?
it, yeah,
Or
yeah,
no?
not the whole thing. That would be really slow.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it would be.
it
Yeah.
goes up the coast. There's quite a few coastal points, all the way from yeah Seattle down to San Diego. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
and you can take a shitload of. You can take like 2 carry-ons and 2 um, check baggages, and then 2 personal items, whatever. But like you almost get like 300 pounds of bags. It's pretty decent because the check baggage and the personal are 50 pounds a pop, so that's 4, and then your little computers or whatever. But You know, they're very
Yep.
generous with everything here. There's people walking
Hmm.
around, checking on you, saying hello. It's way better than a plane, especially if you're fat.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm saying I've gained a few pounds on this trip, and I'm not gonna stop anytime
That's why they
soon.
got the big seat. Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
so you you can sleep on those chairs in those chairs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'd just be like sleeping on your couch at home if you got a like that couch we have that reclines. Um, be
Yeah.
like that. It just be like a chair like that. Um, so I went and got a blanket. Oh, the good cool thing too is that when I bought this hoodie, spent $50 or more, get a blanket for $25, which is a ripoff, but I got a blanket for $25, a Hard Rock blanket. So, but I was like, oh man,
Right on.
this is my one stop shop, and I don't have to go anywhere else now. But
Yeah. Do they have showers on the train?
that's a good question. I think the sleeper cabins do, or sleeper things do. But
Wow.
other than that, no. But there's like bathrooms with running water. You can wash your face and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they do. This is I think the longest. Um, well, no, I think from LA to Chicago would be the longest single route. But yeah, I believe there was, but I could be wrong. So
So
it's
you
not
can
like
get you can get food till 11, if I heard that correctly.
yeah. There's two places to get food. There's a dining car, which they have steak and I looked at the menu. I was like, well, we're going to be in San Antonio, and so I want to go out there. So we have 5 hours to kill. So, and then they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So they have something for each. I doubt anything's cooked fresh. I think it's all reheated, so I'm not really interested in any of it. But yeah, there's full meals, and then the snack. Like I'm paying $7 for a beer, 7.50. It's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible. And honestly, you could bring
That's
your own.
pretty good. That's
You could
pretty
bring
good.
your own on.
You can?
Yeah, you could bring whatever you want. So I don't think I would advertise it, but there's
Yeah.
you know
How food pretty expensive or?
no like I think a bag of chips was like $2 or 2.50. Everything's kind of reasonable. Nothing is they're not gouging you on anything. So but I didn't go to the tomorrow morning. I might try the restaurant just for shits and giggles. See. Um, but I don't think there's anything fresh. Like I think everything is reheated, so I don't really. I'm not too into that flavor. So
Right.
I mean,
Reheated flavor.
I hate Subway. I'm not a Subway fan at all. But I brought Subway because there was a
I
Subway in the
detest
station.
I detest Subway. I
Oh,
fucking hate it.
I haven't
Ugh,
had it for
gross.
years, but it was like I knew it would be better than what I was going to get on the train, so I did bring a sandwich on
Yeah.
the train. And they just were right in the
Yeah.
station. And the lady was really sweet, so I was happy I went there because she was just a nice old lady, working at Subway. Poor thing, living the dream, the
Yeah.
American dream. Fuck the American dream,
Yeah.
man. What a crock of bullshit that is, right? You know,
Uh,
fucking poor lady. So she
yeah.
was real sweet. And then this guy came and be after he was in line after me. He's probably like 6'5". He's like, "Hey, how you ladies doing?" And they're like, "Yeah, what can I get you?" He goes, "Oh man," he goes, "I'm tired. I've been hitchhiking. My bus doesn't come for 10 more hours." He goes, "And I have no money." But he says, "Is it possible?" He goes, "I could maybe like clean up around here. I can mop the floors and clean all your tables and maybe get a sandwich or something." And I'm like, that's cool because I was gonna after I heard him because he was genuine. He wasn't like, I was like, I'll buy him a sandwich. But they just like, yeah, yeah, we'll give you a sandwich. So it was like the lady was
Oh,
really sweet with him, and I'm just like, this is kind of. I'm glad I came in here because it was a neat experience, overall. But I hate Subway. I just And then I was like, oh, they slice their meat fresh now. And I'm like, doesn't mean the meat's fresh. They're just slicing it in front of you.
They slice it fresh. Yeah,
Yeah, this
yeah.
old meat is sliced fresh. It's like,
I know. That's what got me. That's what got me about Tim Hortons, where they say freshly cracked eggs. I'm like, freshly cracked. So
when do they crack eggs there? It's all reheated.
they
Yeah,
don't. I've never seen them crack eggs there. But
yeah.
if they are, they're cracking some old eggs. Like, no, they
It was
don't.
cracked
They
at the
just
factory.
heat shit up. They heat shit up, and they don't even heat it up enough. Like it's gross.
Is
Like
yeah,
Subway.
I won't eat. Yeah, and it all has that preservative smell. It's just
Yeah,
it's made to
yeah,
sit on the shelf and never go bad.
yeah, yeah.
It was weird in Ohio. There was fucking Tim Hortons everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it's really close to the border, right? So I got some Timbits, but I don't drink coffee or none of that other stuff. But I like Timbits, so I got some Timbits. But and I do like the frozen lemonades, but their machine wasn't working. So, but I'm not a real.
Right.
I can live without Tim. And I really likes it because it's a novelty because she's not from Canada or doesn't live in Canada. So she's like, oh, I want it first thing in Canada. I want to go to Timmy's. I'm like, oh Jesus, they got you. It's just like it's the Starbucks garbage, you know. Oh, I gotta get my Starbucks, you know. It's like you don't need any of that stuff. It's just garbage. It's just garbage. There's
Yeah,
better, Circle K has better coffee. So I don't know. I don't drink coffee, but I was surprised to
it
see all the
doesn't.
Timmys.
But I mean, yeah.
Well,
Um,
in
well,
Arizona it is because and B vouches for that because in Arizona
oh yeah,
and at some other states the coffee they put the beans in and then they're always ground fresh for each cup. So it's
yeah,
pretty hard. Like in B is like yeah, it's, for $2 this coffee is like way better than Starbucks and she goes I can't believe how cheap it is. But there are other Starbucks that don't do that. And I didn't know that because I was recommended it to somebody and like that shit wasn't fresh. And I'm like, oh, it must be because of where we are or whatever. My bad. We're not in Arizona,
yeah,
asshole. But I don't drink
yeah,
coffee, thank God, so I don't have to deal with all that because I can't imagine like gambling every
it's a
morning for
terrible.
a good cup of coffee. If you're traveling, it's just like it's a gamble.
Oh yeah, and once you're hooked on it, man, you need it. It's a terrible habit. Um, Starbucks actually, I mean, for coffee, there is no good coffee really. It's just a habit. Like there is bad coffee. Like all coffee's bad. Um, so there's bad coffee and then there's worse coffee. And
What do you prefer?
Tim Hortons, Tim Hortons to me is actually pretty good coffee.
Oh yeah,
Uh, well, it's not as bad as regular coffee. And then Starbucks is stronger, but it's not as bad as bad coffee either. Bad coffee is like something from 7-Eleven.
oh,
I guess I haven't tried Circle K coffee, but
you'd have to try the right one as well. I mean, you gotta get that
yeah, yeah,
fresh ground.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Have you ever seen that Undercover Boss? That or heard of that show?
Yeah, a little bit,
You've heard of it?
a little bit. Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't watch it myself, but every now and then I'll come across a clip of it. And there was
yeah.
this lady that was she was worked at this 7-Eleven in New York or something like that. And it was the busiest 7-Eleven bar none for coffee. They serve like over 2,500 cups of coffee a day there. Yeah. And so this guy's the
First,
undercover boss, and it's his first day of work, right? And so he's acting like he doesn't know what he's doing. But he does know what he's doing compared to this lady, right? This lady, she knows everybody. She's like in her 60s. She has to go in for dialysis several times a week. But even then, she comes to work and she's just making the best coffee. And she's like, oh, that's missing there. You need to throw that out. You did that wrong. Like she's just totally telling this guy what to do. And he goes, and he liked
it's
it.
the
He like,
American dream.
yeah, she gets to go to dialysis, work fucking 60 hours at 7-Eleven to pay for that garbage, right? So
Yeah.
he's training under her, and she's training him really good. She's really thrilled. She's talking to everybody, and everyone loves her, and they call her mom, and she has nicknames for everyone. He goes, "How do you know everybody?" She goes, "Well, I've been here for like over 10 years, kind of thing, right?" And so anyway, he's really moved by her. So like he heard, he knows about the dialysis, so he like totally hooked her up, took really good care of her. But it was just like there's so many stories of people like that don't have an undercover boss that are really dying and they're giving you everything and
Yeah.
and they never get anything in return, but for them it's just they just like being nice and happy, but there really is more to life. Just a lot of people don't really understand that, they ignore it because it's unattainable, so they're just like, well, I'll just be happy with what I got. And that's how I'm just
Yeah.
happy doing this. I'm just happy. Really, you're happy serving 2,500 cups of coffee a day for $110? That's happiness. While that guy makes, thousands, would it be more happy if maybe you made $1,000 a day, doing this? I mean, yeah, if you like working with people, that's
Her
great,
idea of
but
happiness is different.
but they're totally
Yeah.
taking advantage of you, and that's the thing. People don't understand.
Of
They're being
course.
taken advantage of. They're just like, hey, I'm lucky to have this job. Everyone feels lucky to have a job. That's why I've had 80, because I don't feel lucky to have any of them. I feel like this is
Well, part of
bullshit.
that is because people are trained.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
So,
missed that part.
no, I
Sorry.
said, well, I just said that's bullshit. Yeah, you're right. They're trained because that's what school's all about, right? Training
Yeah,
workers.
they're trained to feel
And
that way,
and take your work home
and
with
then they
you. Here's
convince
some homework.
themselves.
Work for free at home.
Yeah,
We'll train you to do that.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
hasn't
and
had
then
homework forever,
they're
thank God.
convinced.
But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just going to go on and more, say the same fucking thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
thank God
we're
we don't have any homework.
well. It's great. I mean, I didn't really feel like I was an assistant when I was a kid going to school. I wasn't like a regular kid either, but I didn't feel like I was being trained for something. But had I been told and aware that like I am now, like maybe someone educated me, that I'd be like, oh yeah, this makes sense. But you're just doing what
Yeah,
you're told, right? You're in the forest. You're always in the forest as a child. You can't see anything outside of it, so you don't know any better. And I really wish I would have had. I wish my uncle and I would have been closer because he was very conscious. He was the guy who walked into the Alberta Stock Exchange with a bomb, saying this is all bullshit. Speculation is killing the economy. Um, but he was
really?
oh yeah, he was very aware of everything wrong with government. But when he would talk to me, I'm just like, cuckoo, cuckoo, because I didn't understand that at the time. I was too young to really have a grasp. I was still in the system, kind of thing. So I didn't know
Yeah.
what he was talking about was real. I just thought he was nuts. And now I'm like, fuck, I wish I would have known what he was onto, so I could have like extrapolated more information from him before he died, because he was a genius, and but he was just too smart for, so, like, I think I may have told you he went to DeVry, and then he was at the top of his class, and then just quit one day because they're not qualified to teach me, which made my grandma upset because she was
Right.
paying for everything. But he was that kind of guy. He learned too much and knew too much, and so yeah, he became kind of volatile and dangerous. And so then eventually the government labeled him, mentally insane or whatever, and he never worked. And I remember the last time I saw him, he's like, "I'm retired." It was like, this stupid government's going to pay me for the rest of my life, you know. But he didn't. He never wanted anything either. He was never a materialistic person. He was always a minimalist. So he was just happy with his hot plate and a toilet. That's all he really wanted. I'm like, I want a little more.
They're eating shit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, I went over, and the guy was like a savant. Like he played chess, and you could never get a few moves with him without him winning. And here he is, so smart, and then his dinner is baked potato or boiled potatoes, and that's all he would ever have with salt and pepper. It was just kind of fucking
Well,
crazy.
that's kind of healthy.
Well, it's just kind of nuts too, though. It's just and sharing a
Yeah.
bath and you're sharing a bathroom with a bunch of other men, and I'm just like, because they had like the common showers and stuff, and I'm just like, and he's like, I'm
Oh,
retired. And I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like retirement to me, but it seems more like
I don't know
jail.
if you are. So he was staying in like a SRO thing, is what you're saying, or a
What's that?
single room occupancy, and then shared with other people,
Probably. He
um,
was downtown Calgary,
common areas.
where the YMCA's. I don't know if you know Calgary, but yeah, he lived downtown Calgary,
I
and
do a little bit. I stayed in the worst place possible, single men's hostel there.
oh,
Maybe that was where he was staying. I hope he wasn't retired there. Holy shit, that was an insane asylum.
yeah, probably was something like that. But it would when it wasn't a hostel, like everyone in there was permanent, and they were on assistance, like they were wards of the state, sort of thing. So,
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
but it was weird, like I mean, I know nothing to compare this to that because at this time this is my experience unfolding in real time, right? So I don't have anything to like gauge this against. But I was just like, man, this cannot be the plan. It's just like
This is not.
this is not cool. There's nothing cool about this, like the only thing cool in your mind is you're fucking over the government. And that's what he really got off on. He's like, but no, you're not screwing over the government, you're screwing over people. When people think they're pulling one over on the government, they're pulling one over on a taxpayer. And I don't understand, and I didn't understand it then, but even more so now I do. And I was just like, man, you were kind of a lazy motherfucker, but you were really smart, you know. But anyway,
I think I missed something. What was he doing exactly, and where was he staying?
he wasn't doing anything. He's like insane, and he was staying. He was a ward of the state for so
Okay.
Canada. Yeah, he never worked, and that was after. I mean, I hadn't seen him in forever. He was probably that was 2000 last time I saw him. He's dead now. And then his son reached out to me a few years ago, and my uncle had got this girl pregnant, and she never told him about the baby. So, and then she gave him up for adoption or became like a foster child as a baby.
Yep.
And then at
Yep.
11 years old, the foster parents took him to the Alberta government. We don't want him anymore because he's too difficult. So this guy has been like all over since he's a baby, and then he just contacted me. He's like a couple years older than me now, and he's like, "Hey, I'm your
Oh,
cousin," and I'm like, "Blah blah blah," and so I've been trying to like kind of help him. Poor guy doesn't have a mom or a dad, right? And but my dad, he found my dad, and my dad told him about me, so he and I have been communicating. But this guy's been in more relationships in the last 2 years than I've been in my entire life. It's like every 6 months he's got a new girl, and he's fucking her over, and he's like totally like using her for whatever, and then it didn't work out, and I'm like, I just said, hey, maybe do you want to maybe go get some, therapy, counseling, talk to people about, I mean, because I got nothing wrong with me, but he'll send me pictures of him alone in a bar with just this like table full of fucking beer cans. Like, yeah, nothing wrong at all. And your dad's dead, and your mom doesn't want anything to do with you, and yeah, I'm sure you're feeling really great inside, because we're all just children, right? We want to be loved. We want to understand our parents and have them in our lives. And if you
yeah.
don't, I mean, his life. I mean, I put up with him, but if he was not my relative, I would not, because he's kind of a dick, and he knows it. But he
Yeah.
also
Well,
knows he's troubled. Like it's just like, and now he got a girl to buy a house. Like, fuck. But you
you got a
know,
girl to buy a house?
in Saskatchewan, yeah. He goes, yeah, she bought a house for us and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, like that poor thing doesn't know what's coming.
Right. Right. Huh.
But
Amazing.
yeah, I can't. Well, B. I guess I got B, but she's a good girl.
Yeah.
Probably use the pot. Yeah. But that was interesting. I remember the first time he contacted me, I ignored him because I'm like, who's this scammer? Poor guy.
Yeah.
Nobody likes me. Thank you.
Well, sounds like he's good at like uh,
Not too far.
ingratiation. Or can't think of the word. Sounds like he's good at making friends or girlfriends at least.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how many he's had. I'm a little jealous, I gotta say, because he ain't that handsome. He must
Huh?
have
Yeah,
confidence.
he's got charisma, I guess.
Mhm. Sorry, buddy. There we go. I went down to the wrong place.
Where are you headed?
To the galley.
Ah, the galley.
Yar. Oh man, I'm gonna take a whiz. There we go.
There she blows.
Well, I guess I won't put the phone there. That would be cock right in your face.
We might get more viewers,
Yeah, I was trying to figure out
or
how
we
to do
might not.
a TikTok live with two cameras, but I can't. I did a
Why?
TikTok live when I don't know why it won't let me use both cameras. Um, but I would like the front and the rear one. That way you could have, conversation like a podcast. And
Uh-oh. Yep.
then the other morning, I was going live while I was driving through Oklahoma because the sun was coming up. It was really pretty. So
Yep.
I did it in
Yep.
landscape mode, right? Because I'm like, oh, it's pretty sunrise. But the whole thing records in portrait mode, so everyone had to look at my shit sideways, and I didn't really realize till like an hour and a half later. So like people would be fucking like,
I just realized that my sorry for
my testicles are inverted.
that actually.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Oh, never mind. I thought it stopped recording, but it's still recording, so I can go
What?
back and hear what you said.
Okay.
That's cool. It's all good. I think it's saved a recording. Oh no, never mind. I'm fucking drunk.
Ooh, this is where all the toilets are, which is nice because in the other car on the East Coast, it's one floor. Everything's on the same floor, and then you're sitting by a toilet, and when this guy would come out, it's like, oh, you just get that horrible odor.
You don't like that? You don't like that smell?
Depends what they had for dinner.
Toilets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I feel like I'm on a boat.
You are. You,
There we go.
oh,
Okay.
somebody's cooking. It smells pretty good, actually. You're on a boat
I felt like I was on a
on
boat.
wheels. You're on a boat on wheels on the
Oh,
land.
I think
Same deal.
we're close to Houston now.
God damn, somebody's making something pretty delicious smelling.
Should go knock on
Fuck.
doors.
Yeah. Give me some of that. Pretty good.
Don't say it like that. Just say please.
No. Fuck that. Give me that.
I have glass in my mouth. That's fucking
Hello?
weird. Look at that. It's
No,
fucking.
don't. I told you, don't call me here. Just gonna make a call.
Can you see that?
Hello? That guy has no idea how this works.
Oh. All right. So, what are we talking about today? Now that we're all warmed up.
Should we start the podcast?
Yes.
The broadcast? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we have a lot of
Uh,
content because we've talked about going back to the protocol, and then we've talked about trains. So
yeah.
we have so much material.
Like so much that we don't even need anymore, but we could probably use some more. So, like, I'm thinking that, like,
Can you see yourself in the
we should
reflection?
probably. Oh shit! Yeah, I can. Freaky. What the hell's going on here? What is this all about?
That's. Are you on
Something happened.
Are
Something
you on?
happened when I did the.
You're on Tinder.
Something's going on here.
Oh,
Am
where
I
have
on
you?
Tinder? I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore. Fuck's sakes. No, it's okay. It's okay. I think. Oh shit. No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't fucking panic, Jim. Jesus Christ.
Okay. We are arriving in Houston.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
What are we gonna do in Houston?
I think we're just picking up some people and then dropping them off. And then we stop in San Antonio, El Paso,
Yeah.
and a couple other places. Not too much more. And then not too much in Arizona. I think 3 stops in Arizona. So
Do
be there.
you go through New Mexico?
Yeah, I don't think there's any stops in New Mexico because that's right at El Paso. So that there's not a whole lot of time between El Paso, which is Texas, and then New Mexico and Arizona. It's all right there by the border. So I don't think there's any cities, um, yeah, any points of interest along the way. You'd have to go a little north to go to Las
I have a
Cruces
feeling
or.
that I would like to spend. Oh, sorry.
Mm-mm.
Just interrupted you. Sorry about that.
No, I'm just mumbling. Go ahead. You'd like to what?
I have a feeling that I would like to spend some time in New Mexico. I might want to move there.
Why?
Just a feeling. I don't know. It's a feeling I
Well,
have.
I think you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because if you thought BC was bad during the pandemic, New Mexico was worse.
Really?
Yeah. We
Why?
we went
Why would
I
they do
don't
that?
I have no just who's in charge, right? There were towns where you weren't allowed to have more than 2 people in the car. There were towns where you were not allowed to go in the town unless you lived in the town. When we went to Santa Fe, everything was closed to go into. You could order out. There was trash everywhere because they didn't have enough people cleaning up the trash. But New Mexico had very, very, very strict laws, rules.
Wow.
And they extended it and extended it and they prolonged it as long as they could. And for that reason, I would fucking avoid that place like the plague in a situation like
Who the
that.
fuck was? Who was in charge in New Mexico? What the fuck?
Governor, yeah, it was B and I went there on our on a honeymoon, on our anniversary. We went to Santa Fe, and in one aspect, it was really nice because there was nobody there. But then again, everything was closed, so we couldn't go to like museums or anything like that. It's a gorgeous place just to like observe, but yeah, it was really weird. And when we checked in, I booked a hotel. It was everything was like on good deals back then, right? So we got this 5-star hotel, and when we go in there, it's the room is in a really weird spot, and it just makes nothing makes sense of this room, especially because they're so empty. And so we go downstairs and talk to the guy, and the guy is just such a douchebag, and he totally dismissing us. And then I had to get fucking upset. And I was, listen,
Yeah.
dude, you're not even listening to us. Put us in another fucking room. We're not asking you. We're telling you. That's not the room we booked, because it was something about what the amenities in the room and stuff like that. And the guy was totally just like dismissing us, and I was just like, you know, in this time and like in the world where you're hurting for cash, why are you doing
Yeah.
this? You know, like it makes no sense. And it was really it's a beautiful hotel, like very Santa Fe, very, you know, authentic. But it was just like, man, this guy ruined our whole fucking trip because his attitude was so unnecessary. He was just lazy, is
Yeah.
what it was. It was just pure laziness. He didn't want to move us. He goes, "That's the only room we have," and we're like, "Nope, that's not the room I fucking paid for." You know, and I just like, fuck, man. And it's like, are you kidding me? You should be going head over heels to fucking keep people here and keep them happy
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's still a lot of inconveniences. A lot of things are closed, even in the hotel. There's services that aren't available. You know, and that's why you're paying a better price. But it was like Santa or New Mexico sucked. But I would say if you were going to go there, especially if you're going to do a just a bike ride just to check it out. I mean, have you been to New Mexico?
No, never been there.
It is beautiful. If you like, we're going from Arizona, you take the 40 over to Albuquerque and go north on the 25 and hit Santa Fe. Santa Fe is like, it's the capital, but it's the town is the shit. It's a gorgeous town, very adobe, very old Southwestern, just authentic, a ton of character, beautiful town. And then when if you're driving, like say you were going to go to like Texas or something, there's a place called the Very Large Array, and you remember Contact with Jodie Foster, and they had those
Yeah.
big, and
Unfortunately.
Matthew McConaughey. They had those big, huge satellite dishes. In New
Yeah.
Mexico, there's a field of those huge, like they're like 25 meters tall, kind of thing, and they all move the same. It's a really cool place just to see because it's called the Very Large Array. And then not far from there, there's a place called Pie Town. We got there, Pie Town had actually closed because of the pandemic, but someone opened it up again. And there's nothing in that town except a pie place. It's really a pie town, but it's like someone else bought it, and I follow them on Facebook because I want to go there again and try some of their pie. But New Mexico definitely has a lot of charm and character, but the government blows. They can lick my balls all day. I cannot believe what they were doing during COVID. I would I mean, to say only two people in a car, are you fucking kidding me? How fucking dare you even
That's
try?
really fucked.
Are you? What are you gonna do? You gonna throw me in
I can't
jail?
believe that.
I have a
I
picture.
can't believe that.
I have a picture of the sign. I'll send you some
I mean, I
pictures.
do believe it. I'm just
But I,
saying that's fucking
well, I couldn't believe it
bullshit.
either. That's why I've taken pictures of everything because it's like this is unbelievable. Two people in a car. What if we all have COVID? What if we're just on a COVID fucking party? You know?
Oh yeah, don't try to make sense of it. Fuck.
I know.
God damn.
And then not even being able to come into town unless you lived in the town. I mean, they had all like
Uh,
at the exits to these towns, they'd have these signs like you're not permitted, permitted kind of shit. And we're just B and I are just like, what the? We were. I mean, it made it that much better to be in Arizona. I mean, Arizona's great,
yeah.
but Arizona lacks a lot of character, like culture. I wouldn't say
Okay. Well,
character,
that's
but
yeah.
try
Yeah.
moving. It says.
It says what?
It says poor connection. Try moving to get a
Oh,
better signal. Maybe
seems fine to me.
I'm supposed to walk around. No, shake your head.
Try moving. That's better. That's way better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, fuck the government and everything. I would like to, ride my bike or a car. Probably better on a bike though. Through that area. Also Utah. There's all kinds of places I like to go in Utah and more places in Arizona too.
Where are
I
Utah?
mean, you and I
Like
went through
Moab?
some of them in like what?
Like Moab and the parks and stuff with the big
Yeah,
rock
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Rock
yeah.
shit.
Exactly. Rock shit. And I got to go through some of those areas on Route 66 again because you and I went through them, but it was at night, so I couldn't see shit. But yeah, I would like to do that
It's,
again.
it's crazy too, all the way up to Oklahoma. I was on route, like the 40 is Route 66, so I kept getting off on like these towns and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, it would be kind of cool just to like take the old 66, stop in all the mom and
Yeah.
pops, just.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy like supporting a mom and pop, the old the old places. To me, that's a pleasure. I don't know why, but I really just
I like those
like.
places. I like those
Yeah,
places way better.
that's the character. I'm. God damn, I've been all across this fucking country and across, on the car, and really, there's no difference between fucking California and New York when you look at basically every rest area is the same. Arby's, McDonald's, Chevron, Sonic, all it's you really have to search for fucking. I mean, in New York you don't because you go there every fucking corner is a mom and pop, which is awesome. I wish I would have had more time. I was like, fuck, I would have ate so much pizza if I had a day there because it was like buy the
Yeah.
slice, buy the slice, buy the slice, buy the slice. I'm like, I will buy the
Yeah.
slice, but it was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was like pleasure overload almost because it's just like all these options where on the road you feel limited because of your time and stuff. So you got to do your research before you get there. Hopefully they're open, or whatever. Like I'm like find a mom and pop. Like that's what we're always trying to do. Find a mom and pop. Find a mom and pop. But
Yeah.
you want to be able to trust it too. 'Cause there's some pretty sketchy
Yeah.
places out there, right? But now everything's rated.
Sure.
You should be able to have a good experience without too much hassle. You know.
That's what I liked about going up and down the coast, though, because
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have
there.
your attention, please?
Oh,
Coming up in
oh,
about 15 minutes, we'll be arriving in Houston, Texas. Again, in about
Texas.
15 minutes.
So I'll have to go back to my seat in 15
One,
minutes. Well, I actually
one
don't
five
have to.
minutes.
I'll make another announcement here in a couple minutes just to remind you.
Oh, okay. Here's something really
Please
smart.
wait for the next announcement to
So
start heading
we're
downstairs.
we're taking
Please
a
stay
bus
seated.
from Atlanta
But
to
be
New
ready.
Orleans.
Here in
It's a
Houston, we'll
5-hour
be
bus
ready
ride.
approximately
It
15,
took us
20
like
minutes.
7 to 8 hours,
We have
and
passengers to get off the
I don't know
train
why
for,
this guy
baggage
stopped
to
so
do.
much. So finally, he's like, "Hey,
You will be able
we're
to
an
step
hour
off
and a
the train to
half
get some fresh air, stretch your legs, or have
from
a
New
cigarette.
Orleans." I'm like, "Oh, good, an hour and a half." He goes, "So as soon as we cross the border
Again,
into
approximately
Louisiana,
15
we're gonna
minutes.
stop
Please wait
for
for
a
the next
smoke break."
announcement.
It's all these fucking smoke
Yeah.
Thank you.
breaks. It's like, fuck, man. I'm like, so I didn't know we were that far from the border. I thought,
You got to
oh,
start smoking, man.
that must be 10 minutes away, because why would you stop halfway in an hour and a half ride? It makes no sense. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
10 minutes into the hour and a half, okay. So we're driving. Then I started looking on the map, and I'm looking for the border. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's more than halfway there. And then we stop. Everyone's outside smoking, and I'm just like, why the f did we stop? To this other guy, I'm like, we're almost there. He goes, I know, man. And he goes, I'm going home. Like, that's his home. I still have to go all
Yeah.
the way to Arizona, so I'm upset. But imagine me, man. I go like, I just want to get home. These motherfuckers stopping for cigarettes. It's like it made no sense to stop 45 minutes before you were
Is that
there.
is that the train or the bus?
That was the bus because there was a problem with the train. They said there was a heat
That
issue.
right? Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So obviously the bus driver was a smoker. Is that what's going on?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like as soon as you get off the bus, he's like this.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
6 minutes. He knows exactly how long it takes him to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
6 minutes. He doesn't say seven. He doesn't
Yeah,
say.
folks. Yeah, folks. I don't want to stop, but we're going to have to stop in about 15 minutes for people to take a smoke break. Once again, it's not me. It's people. There's certain people on here. I don't agree with it, but they need to stop for a smoke.
Oh, and then they said, oh, and there's a bathroom in the back, and we're going 5.5, 6 hours, 7 hours, really. I didn't know it was gonna be long. And just so you know, no number two in the bathroom. So if you need to go, you just let me know.
Really?
Yeah. So people
Really?
let them know, and so we had to stop for that. And then every time we stopped, they had to flush water down the toilet. They get a gallon of water and pour it down the toilet. So something was going on. I was like,
Oh,
damn. And then we had the problem with the train was leaking sewage onto the floor, the toilet. I mean, I remember I
oh,
got in there at the beginning of the trip, and I'm like, there's like a little leak around the edge of the bathroom, and it's like,
oh my
and then
gosh.
I got in there at the end because I've been holding this crap in, like, and I haven't really been too regular on this trip, and uh, and so then I go in there and
TMI.
I'm like, there's shit, there's stuff everywhere. And I think I texted this to you. I dropped the deuce, and then I'm like, no toilet paper. It's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm using paper towel. I'm like, thank God it wasn't a messy one. But I was just like, man, this thing is maybe this is why they're stopping the train. They're calling it heat, but maybe it's a toilet thing. I don't know. But
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
pretty nasty. And I was tempted to take pictures, but I don't know why. I was just kind of
Yeah.
happy to be on the train. I was like, hey, that came from your account. You need to leave. It's like, it's like, I don't know. How do you know it's from my account? Well, your face is on it, dipshit. Oh,
So you've destroyed that train. I can't get on that train anymore. You've really ruined me for train travel. Um, fuck.
now we're going by the nice dark warehouses.
Oh yeah.
You ever been to Houston? That's it.
No, I
It's
haven't.
awesome.
It's a lot of places I haven't been. Oh wait, hang on. Make you big here.
Jeez, what the hell is this
Oh,
place?
that looks so different from everywhere else.
You see all the best
Yeah.
places when you're on the train track. The best, Jerry.
Yeah,
The best.
the best. That's really awesome.
The
Yeah,
the
that's
best. The best
really
where
looks great, Jim.
the best hangouts. Best place to leave
Yeah,
a body. The best.
yeah, the best, Jerry. I think what you can see from a train in North America, you could say you're pretty much anywhere.
Well, I remember this vividly from when I moved here, but poverty here and poverty in Canada are two very different things, you know.
Yeah.
Um, Here it's obvious, In Canada it's kind of milky, like, well, depends what kind of program you're under or whatever, but I don't know what it's like now, but I remember, like, in Canada there were no ghettos. Not on the west side. I don't know about Toronto, but when I was in Toronto, it didn't look like there was any ghettos there either. It looked like I really liked Toronto. I thought it was a beautiful city, and
Really?
I had never ever wanted to go there. I had no desire to go there. I always thought it was just like fuck Toronto. But then I was there, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I really like that city. The police were nice, bus drivers were nice, pedestrians, everyone was so nice. Like, no, no, you go, no, you go, you go. Even bus drivers stopping for pedestrians and stuff. I'm like, this is insane. Like, everyone's so nice here.
That's how I
It's
felt. That's how I felt about New York.
Yeah,
Even the cops were nice to me there.
yeah.
We got ghettos here, man. Well, you know that. But
Well, but those aren't American ghettos, man. These some of these. I mean, Phoenix doesn't have ghettos either. Like, I've never been in anywhere in Phoenix where I felt uncomfortable. Um, but I have been in other
oh,
cities.
uncomfortable. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just you're just a little like, this isn't my spot. These aren't my homies.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right. 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 Yeah.
but here there's so many towns where I just like that's not a town where I want to go into. Like, I don't want to drive around Compton. I don't want to drive around South Central. I don't want to drive around, um, certain places in
I did
Chicago.
try to avoid. I avoided that area for sure. Although I did walk right through Skid Row, and actually that was mostly. I mean, that was
I don't think
similar
that's so
to.
bad. That's
It
just a
wasn't. It was similar to East Hastings, but it was actually. I mean, it was mostly uh, deserted. Everything was shut
Ladies and
down.
gentlemen, just a few more moments. We'll be arriving in Houston. Gather up our belongings.
I better go
Check
ahead
around
to
your
my
seats for personal items. Be ready.
get to my chair.
But please stay seated until the
Okay.
train comes to a complete stop.
Oh, fuck.
Again, Houston will be a break stop. You can step off the train, get some fresh air, stretch your legs, or have a cigarette.
Oh, cigarettes. I'm gonna start smoking. That's
He's a
cool.
smoker.
We're going to
That's
be
a cool
Dutch
here
is a smoker.
approximately 15 minutes. We have passengers to get off, get on, bags to do. Listen for the conductor's to yell board or a whistle call. When you do, immediately board the train. Houston, Texas, coming up.
Where did you go? There you are.
Smoke him if you got him.
I wish I
Be
did.
right back.
Wish I did.
Smoke a joint.
I wish I had one. Can't do that in Texas. It's medical only.
Oh, really? Nah.
Yeah. Such a stupid fucking scam. Oh, medical. And then you go there and you pay $250. What's your problem? I need weed. Okay, yeah, it sounds like you got a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you, the train is so smooth. It's like you're almost riding on air. It's just so smooth. It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah, I fucking love the train, man. I don't know.
Maybe you're on a boat.
Sometimes it does feel like it because it does kind of sway a little bit back and forth. These taller ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing's a fucking Powerball 363 million.
Yeah. I can't see your video anymore. It's just your.
Ugly mug.
It's that gay picture. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess when I take a picture, it turns my camera off. Fucking, that's so gay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're stopping. I want to go outside. Oh shit! Probably can't take a beer.
So the announcer conductor dude.
No, it's okay.
Oh,
No
who's
worries. Oh, just
Okay.
no. What about the conductor?
Whoever the announcer is, he obviously smokes, or he's really encouraging people to smoke. That's interesting.
Yeah. Time to get unhealthy.
I mean, that used to be like more of a 70s, 80s thing for sure on the bus. I took the bus a lot when I was young, a kid.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and I and sister took the bus a lot. That's why I hate the bus to this day. But yeah, the only time we took a train was we took one of those old-fashioned trains, like 1800s coal trains from Whitehorse to Skagway, Alaska. It's a very slow train, windy, through all kinds of canyons, and that was pretty cool. And then, maybe that's the only time I took a train, actually. Other than in New York, taking the train from New Jersey to New York. That's probably about it.
Was that like a subway? Or
It was an actual train.
well, they're all
train,
they're all actual trains.
Well, they are all trains, but it's a different one. It's
Like an Amtrak, like the railway.
it's like an Amtrak. Yeah, yeah.
Not like public transportation.
Yeah. I mean, I took the subway there too quite a bit. I enjoyed that. I liked that. Took it all through New York, Manhattan, and we took it all the way from Queens down to Coney. Well, that isn't Queens. Took it down to Coney Island, and that took quite a while. And actually enjoyed that quite a bit.
Oh yeah, like
Good.
if I had some time in New York, my thing would be to like just ride all the trains. Then you totally see the city, right?
The subway is very cool there.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, like, it's just so cool. It's like, once again, it's like you've seen it in movies, and I was a little disappointed that it was so clean down there, and I didn't see, there was no graffiti, but it was like when you got down, you take the stairs down, subterranean, and then you get down there, and it's like all these old black timbers
Hmm.
and well, I guess black steel and stuff. It's like, well, this shit's been down here forever, and it just looks so cool down there, and
It's
it's
it's crazy
super
how old that
efficient.
stuff is, right?
It's super, yeah, super old, and
Yeah.
it's really efficient. Like you can get
It's
around
still.
there so fast
Hmm.
compared to Vancouver. Like this is
Oh,
amazing. Like this is way bigger, and you can
yeah,
get around the city.
yeah. And Vancouver's better than New York. I mean, Vancouver's better than
No,
Phoenix. Like Phoenix is a joke to get around. Piss again.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
All right, you can look at the ceiling. Yeah, it's
What I
really
found really
Canada.
cool.
Canada is very inefficient. Like I can understand why like there's no interstate system. There's just not enough people to take care of that. But I mean, and even Vancouver's better because they have the SkyTrain doesn't like stop at red lights and shit like that. Like the one in fucking Phoenix is a joke. It's a surface street fucking train, stops at lights. It's no faster than taking a fucking car. It's just made for people who don't have fucking cars. That's all. It's not made for people who
Yeah,
fucking give a shit.
right, right. I heard it's the same thing in Edmonton from a friend of mine who lives there. That it really sucks
Oh
trying to get
yeah.
around. You can't drive around there, and you can't if you take the train. It sucks. Everything sucks.
Thank you. Yeah, it's well, fuck Edmonton anyway. Shithole.
Yeah.
Shouldn't even
Well,
exist.
it's fucking ugly anyway.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I'm in Houston now. Some pretty big
All
buildings
right.
down here. Lots of oil
Cool.
here, I guess, right? Oil money. It's a Calgary kind of, kind of
Heard
place.
that. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm gonna disappear for a second, take a picture. Oh, fucking
I
hot though.
bet they got cheap gas.
You know, Texas isn't really that cheap, much cheaper. I was expecting, like, Arizona used to be really fucking cheap gas. It used to be some of the cheapest in the fucking country, and now
You've
it's.
disappeared again.
Yeah, I know.
Video.
I
You've
was taking a
disappeared.
picture.
Okay.
I told you I was taking a picture.
Okay. Well,
God damn
for
you!
fuck's sakes.
People are like, "What the
Okay.
fuck's up with that guy?"
Okay.
So,
I'm recording the screen. Okay.
I need your ugly mug, or this doesn't work. Yeah, but it's weird because like I went through Texas on the way to Boston, and I thought, oh, when I get to Texas, it'll be like 50 cents a gallon. No, but it was the same prices like Oklahoma and New Mexico, and just Arizona's like $1 more. Well, Phoenix is $1 more than everyone else. It's like fucking crazy. And it really used to be one of the cheapest places in the country to buy fucking gas before this new group of fucking losers took over. Oh, good. The lady with all the kids is getting off now.
Uh,
But yeah, it was $1.89 in Phoenix when Biden took office, which was still a lot, but it was still like one of the cheapest in the country when California was like at $4 and shit like that. Now we're the same as California, and now we have a Democratic fucking governor as well, who was also in charge of counting the votes. So
right.
here, okay, behind me, there's a fucking idiot inside there with a fucking mask on. That fucking retard.
I see that.
Yeah,
Nice. Make fun of them.
yeah. I put my
Give them
ass
the
up.
finger.
And let's see. I'm just my thing is I'm just looking for anyone else in that bottom fucking row. No one else is there. Like
Yeah.
there's fucking it's all black people.
You know,
That
when I
do it.
make your picture big on my screen, it distorts quite a bit. Just
It might be a bad
hang
connection.
on.
Um,
It's better
yeah,
when I make it smaller.
yeah. I always
Yeah.
look better when I'm smaller, especially my penis. Looks way better
Yeah,
smaller.
me too.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it looks so big when it's small. Yeah, it's way bigger when it's smaller.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. That poor lady is probably gonna die. There's no one else in there. She's all alone. But I have found, well, everybody who I've
Yeah.
seen who has a mask on is black. But of course, the population down here is a lot blacker. So I guess that. But
Right.
I think there was a lot of heavy manipulation, and it just kind of just stayed in, right? You know, it's just some people don't know and they trust, and they don't know better, and they can't research, and they, you know, I feel bad for those people because it's just like they come by it honestly. There's some people that really they don't want to be the virtual signalers. They just really were scared, you know, and they trust people, and they're
Of
naive, and
course.
they're kind of simple, and I feel that's a lot of people down here where they're just very simple, and they trust the government, you know, and they don't question anything, especially if it
Yeah.
affects their welfare check. So, but no, I don't mean that. Um,
Right.
yeah, it's just weird. I've just noticed a certain type of people that are still fucking clinging onto the masks, and it's all every so far everyone has been black. And I just think the way they attack that community then or something like that with information, because they're also voters, right? You know, you look at a community and you want that vote, you know, so they they would do things heavy with certain communities just to get the vote, not that they give a fuck about them at all. So, and
Right.
this is the community, and that will be the one that votes in a UBI or UIB, Universal Income Benefit. That's the demographic, and that is a majority, you know, of voting people. When you talk about free money, guess who's going to come out in droves, right? You know, the people who don't work, the people who are on income assistance because of the situation, the society. It's not because they're fucking all lazy and shit like that, but it's just the programming and all that stuff. But they will be the ones that, oh yeah, universal income benefit, yay. You know, same with welfare people in Canada, Indians, shit like that. It's all going to be because they're already all in assistance anyway, right? So especially up here or down here, the reservations. I mean, nobody fucking works on those things. Maybe 10% of they have like 90% unemployment rate in the fucking res. You know, who's going to vote for the fucking UIB? People in the res, low income people, and that is the majority of the population. So whenever that
Right.
starts hitting the books, it's going to happen.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's unfortunate because it's really just plain. It's. I mean, there's so much psychology in it all, right? All of it's psychology. They just know how to fucking manipulate people. And this whole thing, fear. Obviously, fear is. You know, I wish people would wake up and realize that Monsters Inc. is a real, true story because it's true in the fact that laughter and happiness is way more powerful than fear and screams, right? Remember when they started laughing and they make way more energy?
Yeah.
And that really is true. But fear is so
Yeah.
powerful, you know, because it usually impacts our maybe our mortality, maybe our life, you know, but other things as well, just our well-being. But if people truly realize that the happiness is way more powerful, they would just like, fuck, I'm not gonna give into that fear. The first thing to do, turn off the fucking TV, you know, or turn off the news, not the TV, but you know. But here, I mean, everyone's glued in front of the fucking TV. Here I'm like, sorry, I'm way close. Um, but it's such
Yeah.
a fucking cancer here, the television. And if you could just turn that shit off, and people, honestly, when I go out and I've been fucking everywhere, and in this country, and honestly, I see zero
Does we know that?
problems. I see zero problems other than the ones that are self-inflicted. Really, like, you
Yeah.
know, you go out, I don't see racism. Like everyone's like, oh, this lady's a racist. I'm like, she's hilarious. She's not racist. She's mentally ill, and I'm having a ball listening to her. You know, but
Yeah.
for the most part, like everyone I've met is just a regular person. You know, and they're not bottled up in fear, and they're not just perpetuating this fucking news bullshit. But man, you watch the news, it's the end of fucking times. It's scary as fuck. I was like, I cannot
Yeah, that's
believe,
their
and
job.
yeah, and people watch that shit, and people who vote watch that shit. That's the real scary thing, you know. It's like fuck. But for the most part, I don't see any of the problems. I really don't see any problems other than, you know, if I'm a douchebag, I'm gonna deal with that, or someone's being an asshole, I'll deal with that. But I have not seen any any problems at all. Everyone's actually very fucking nice and just doing their own thing. And
I didn't see that either. I was only there for 3 months, but I didn't see that. Um,
yeah,
and I was in kind of a shitty area of town. You know, honestly, the I met a lot more friendlier people, all races there, than I do here most of the time.
yeah, yeah. You know,
Yeah, like
I,
yeah,
yeah. That's. I remember when I came here, I noticed people were very more emotional, and they were very free emotionally. Like, you know, like in a
yeah,
theater in Canada. Well, I mean, it's been a long time, but I would go to a movie, and it's quiet, right? But then, like, you go to a movie in the States, and it's like everyone's reacting to everything. It's like, ah, oh, cry, clap, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're engaged, and they're not afraid to
yeah.
express themselves. And it's like Canadians are kind of like, we're trying to do this facade of, like, we got it all together, or I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's not healthy.
They
It's a,
no, they get
it's a,
upset. They get upset when people are vocal. This is a thing, and that's why they keep saying, "Oh, those fucking loud Americans." And
yeah,
you know,
it's
it's
totally
something that,
wrong.
yeah, it's something my mom had to put up with for years. And she was pretty quiet. She's a quiet person, and a really sweet person too.
Hmm.
And she, you know, she's from Minnesota, and they moved up in the '60s, and she had to listen like people she worked with and people all around her in Canada trash talking Americans all the time, and I've heard it my whole life too.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, eventually, like she'd say to, you know, after a while, people she's working with, well, you know, I'm American, right? And they would say, yeah, but you're different, and then they'd go on trashing Americans, even though they didn't really know Americans. They're
Yeah.
just going on hearsay, a bunch of fucking hearsay. And also, you know, they would hear
Ladies and gentlemen, final
some,
call for Houston, Texas.
oh,
Last and final call. If there's any visitors on board, you need to exit this time. Doors will be closing. Last call.
Let's go. Pretty cocoa. Uh-huh. Yeah, but
what the fuck did you say?
last call. If you have folks
Oh, last
visiting,
call. Ooh,
they
all right.
need to leave. I didn't know you could invite people. I would have invited somebody. I would have gone on Tinder.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I'll be in the train depot. Meet me there.
What a great deal. I
It's
didn't
it's
know.
pretty it's pretty cool looking at it while you're traveling, like 30 miles away, 50 miles away. Ah, shit, she's too far now. Okay, 10 miles away, 0 miles away, 10 miles.
Yeah.
Ah, god damn it.
Yeah.
So I can get some real good action. So.
Yeah, for sure. Too
Yeah,
bad.
people were really. I remember growing up, and well, I had a neutral kind of. I really didn't think of anything like American or Canadian. It was just life, you know, until because I mean, my mom was
Yeah.
dual, but I didn't know. And then I met my grandfather, her dad, and then I was like, to him, he was like the epitome of what an American was. And because the way I always thought of Americans were they're patriotic, you know, like very into the flag. And so he was that guy. Like he would salute it in the morning, salute it at night, you know. He put the flag up on the wall. Like it was like, oh yeah, this guy, this is American, you know. And then
Yeah.
I went down one morning, he was gone, and went home. He blew his head off. That's what happens when you meet a Canadian and you realize you're inferior. You just go fucking shoot yourself.
Fuck. Oh.
Just kidding. But that's what he did, you know. It's like, and I was like, I remember wanting to go to the funeral, just because I wanted to go on a plane ride because I didn't know him, but
Yes.
I thought a plane ride would be cool. But my mom said no. I'm like, oh, bitch, you don't know how much I miss him. I knew him those 2 whole days, and now you're saying
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was weird. But he was very, and he was nice, and he was so patriotic, and he was so into the flag. And I realize now, especially after I've been in the military, that that's just brainwashing propaganda. It's just a different kind of, brainwashing.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily bad, but it's also bad in a humanist sense because you think you're better than other people, you know,
Yeah.
when you're actually a
Yeah.
piece of garbage, dude. Because that guy was like the biggest piece of garbage in the world, raping his own kids and stuff like that. And so yet here he was emulating this, like, oh, I'm a good American, and you think, yeah, what a good American. Yeah, he's like, you're gonna salute the flag, and then you're gonna go home and rape your daughter. Awesome. It's like, no, that's not cool.
Right. Yeah.
But it was like, to me,
Yeah.
it was like, I didn't know all those facts at the time. So it was just like, oh, this guy's neat. That's what an American is. Like, they're
Yeah.
blindly patriotic, you know?
Right.
Yeah. But and Americans, I mean, Canadians definitely have a chip on their shoulder towards Americans. He's like, I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
It's
No,
there,
they
and
do.
it's
They do.
and actually, I really feel it's just jealousy. In the end, it's just jealousy because there's no reason not to like anybody. They're humans. You don't know them, but yet they have a better opportunity. I don't say better quality of life, but there's a little more opportunity here. So, not that I've taken advantage of it,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I agree. I mean, if they didn't, if it wasn't the case, then they wouldn't be bothered, and
if
they
there was,
wouldn't
yeah,
feel like they have to talk out so much.
yeah, it's like an
And
inferiority
Ladies and
complex.
gentlemen, may
Holy,
I have your attention, please?
this
yeah.